road racing, perhaps the purest form of speed on two wheels. On dirt, Freddie discovered the secret of sliding the motorcycle. Now he faced the challenge of applying that technique to pavement.
You know, I could slide the bike around. I had that feel already from dirt tracking. But of course, I refined it. I can remember the first time that I dragged my knee, I thought that was a big, such a neat thing. First thing that I do when I'm entering a corner, as you can see, is I lift up and my knee goes out. That's just a reaction that happens. I call it breaking the wind, with my body. But what I'm doing is I'm lifting up so that I can see the corner, so I can aim the machine, brake, downshift, all of those things, get the bike settled down, and then I lean into the corner. So when I lift up, I'm already looking at the spot that I want to hit. If you get into a corner and you have to really force the machine back, it means that you either brake too late or you're turning too late. It's very simple. If your preparation is there, if you prepare early and you think about what you need to do, if you have that time to actually think about it, or like in my case, many times it's just instinct through years and years and years of feel and development, just through repetition, you won't have that problem. When it seems like it's happening slowly, when it seems like it's slowed down, that's your reactions are so much sharper and you're so much quicker. That's when if you notice every single time, that is when you've performed at your best.
Now let's take another ride with Freddie. And this time, watch how he attacks the famed Laguna Seca road circuit.
As soon as you lean into the corner and you get the machine settled down, you can start applying power. And then you have to change direction. This is a very critical time in the corner for a bike, because the sooner you change direction, the sooner you can lift the bike up and start accelerating with full power. I've ridden against many people, guys that you would never think could get in deep into a corner, that actually go deeper into a corner than I would. But where they lose all the time is that transition from braking to accelerating. And I think that's the magic point, the magic area that you want to reduce down to a minimum amount of time. On a fast corner, you do things a little bit slower because you have less time to make corrections if you do get into trouble. You're almost delicate in your actions with the machine. You cannot overpower motorcycles. You have to use the machine's ability to correct itself as much as possible. Somebody asked me one time in the beginning, they said, what is your real secret? I said, well, they gave me an example. They said, like Kenny Roberts, he doesn't get in the corners deep, but he has great exit speed. I said, well, my objective has always been get in as deep as everybody or faster and come out faster, and that's basically it.
The motorcycle Freddie has been riding here is one of the fastest street machines available today. Now, reduce the weight by 50%, double the horsepower, and you have the Grand Prix motorcycle, a machine built for just one purpose: speed. 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, the quarter mile in under 10 seconds, and a top speed of nearly 200 miles per hour, all on just two wheels, sometimes less. Turning the awesome power of the Grand Prix motorcycle into speed is a task that challenges even the most experienced rider.
It's incredible now, the power-to-weight ratios on the 500 Grand Prix machines. We produce between 160 and 170 horsepower, and they weigh about between 240 and 250 pounds. It's still incredible, though. You start applying power and it starts spinning the rear tire when you're leaned over, and then, of course, it's important to get it as straight up as you can, as soon as possible. You don't want to do it too early. You go off, in the left-hand corner, you go off to the right side of the racetrack, but when they start accelerating, it's just, you hold on. I've always felt that the race wasn't so much with the other guys as it is with the motorcycle. I mean, it's really you work with the bike, but you also battle with it to try to, maintain the control. You know, many times you think you have it in control and it spits you over the high side, you know. Certainly I've had that happen. We all have. But that's just, you know, that's why you respect it. And that's why I've always respected bikes in general, even less powered bikes. You know, I've learned very young to respect the power of machines, and I believe it keeps you from getting hurt.
A motorcycle in the hands of an expert looks graceful, but the power and potential for speed can be intimidating to the novice.
It's scary to people who don't understand it. You know, the guys who are crazy, not the ones who make it all the way to the World Championship. They usually don't make it that far for numerous reasons. Some of which surviving to make it that far, just because you know, it's calculated risk. I mean, sure, there's risk involved, but you think about what you're doing. When I go out and ride on the street, I wouldn't ride without a helmet or a leather jacket or boots or proper gear, because I know the repercussions of accidents. You know, I know what it's like to hit the ground at 100 miles an hour. And I think that that really makes you sane.
To Freddie, the real secret of speed isn't physical, it's mental. And perhaps the most difficult mental task is that special ability to focus 100% of your attention toward the race, the art of concentration.
They always say, you know, you see it in motor racing, the analysts, you know, they talk about a guy who's, boy, today he's really focused and he's concentrating very well. Well, obviously, well, most time he's the guy who's winning. And the reason why, the reason why he's winning is because he's very prepared and it looks easy. You know, it's easy to concentrate when everything is going well. But the guy who overcomes all that, who gets behind, you know, and has problems, but still comes back and just works through it and still wins a race or still gets back up there, you know, that's the guy I tip my hat to. You know, that's the guy who overcomes the problems and still is able to, you know, shake it off and get right back up there. I know guys that I've raced against over the years and even in the World Championship that you can get them rattled no matter how well things are working. You can get them rattled by doing certain things, and it breaks their concentration just like that. This is what taught me that lesson. And it's really the first time I ever talked about that. What taught me the lesson is one night I was racing in Dallas, Texas, and it was a limestone racetrack, white limestone racetrack. So the lights were casting a shadow. When I'd go by the lights, I'd pass my own shadow. And I had the race won. It was like about 2 laps to go, and I was going down the back straightaway and was watching the shadow, and I watched it a little bit too long and just flat missed the corner. I'd lay the bike down, hit the fence and everything. And from that moment on, I was about 12 years old. And you know, Dad said, well, that won't happen again, huh? I said, no, I don't guess so. It cost me $50 silver. It starts very early. Concentration is a result of the preparation that you do when you get to the racetrack or in testing before the season. I believe it's all connected. I believe that if you show up on a racetrack on Thursday, you get the machine working as well as you can the first day, get all the bugs worked out, get the gear ratios correct, the suspension how you want it. So when you do have a good chance, you try to put in a quick lap on Saturday, and then you're prepared. And that's when I get into the racing mode. I start thinking about how the race might go, you know, how the other guys have qualified, how the tires are working on this particular racetrack. The only variables you want to have on Sunday is things you can't control. Mother Nature, or some guy falling in front of you, or something something breaking on the machine. And that simplifies everything to where, you know, your total focus, for me, the total focus goes on to what I have to do to win the race.
Coming up next, the race, the secret of winning.